Hey, Mama.
So the topic that I wanted to discuss today on this episode is about infertility. There's so many reasons why people have infertility issues. Some may be medical and some, are just situations like I had where it was all due to stress. I was so stressed out that as much as I tried to conceive, it wasn't happening. But I'll kind of touch on what I'm going to say later, but I had an aha moment where I was at home getting ready for work one morning, and I was watching the national news channel or news station, and they had a segment on stress and how it affects women, how stress affects women. Okay, so in that segment, they touched on how stress can cause infertility. Now, I know I'm not the only one out there that's had this challenge before. So listen up, y'all. I might give you some tips, some tea that might help you out in the future and help me out too. So they're talking all about on the news channel how stress affects infertility. And then they gave some stress management techniques that were just like right up my alley to try. They were so easy to try. And a lot of these techniques are things that I encourage mamas to do often. Meditation was one of the main suggestions that they gave when it came to lowering your stress with hopes of improving infertility. So I went down the journey of learning how to meditate and making meditation a part of my life. It was life-changing. And so that's why I encourage mamas to meditate. I encourage children to meditate. I encourage everyone to meditate. Meditation is amazing. It's a practice. So when you do it the first time, you might be like, what in the world is going on? I don't know if I did it correctly. But as you do it consistently, then you will get the hang of it. It's a practice. It's not going to be something you get overnight. And then you also have guided meditations that can help you get into that zone where you are experiencing all your thoughts, but you're pulling out the negative and pulling you're taking out the negative and pulling the positive into the forefront. And then you just like watch it dissipate with your eyes closed. It's just, that's the best way I can explain it. And you get this euphoric feeling once you're done. But y'all, so I leaned into meditation. But what I wanted to talk about, even though meditation is a wonderful strategy that we can get into, I don't want to get into that today. I want to talk about those challenges and that feeling that I felt when you're trying to have a child and it's just not happening the way that you want it to happen. First, I would say this: tell God your plans and watch Him laugh. Everything does not happen according to your timing and according to your understanding. You might not understand why, if you are out there and you're trying to get pregnant, you might not understand why it's not happening the way that you want it to happen, when you want it to happen, and how you want it to happen. As they say, tell God your plans and watch Him laugh. And He had a good old kiki on me, y'all, when I tell you. I was so stressed out that I tried to have my second born for about 3 years. Yes, 3 years. The amount of stress that I was dealing with was long term. And as much as I went to the doctor to see if I was okay. Considered having my husband go to the doctor to see if he was okay, but the doctor suggested that we just work on me and just kind of let him kind of go until we have ruled out everything that we could possibly do for myself. Tried ovulation sticks or kits, tried calendars, tried just continually trying every day, and it's just not working. And come to find out, stress was the reason why it wasn't working. Now the doctor did not identify that as a reason for infertility. But I had that moment when I watched that news channel when it was like, dang, Jen, that is what my problem is. I am so stressed out that I'm unable to have this baby. And so the feelings that you have the feeling of I had the feeling of feeling little, feeling small, feeling stupid. Like, why would you allow a situation like this to affect you physically? And I talked about that feeling in the last episode when I talked about the amount of stress. And to recap, if you weren't listening, if you hadn't listened to the last episode, you can stop here and go listen to the last episode. But I was so stressed out to where I was experiencing these muscle spasms from the top of my neck all the way down my back, and the stress was affecting me physically. This is another physical effect that I had, the infertility. So I felt defeated. I felt small because I allowed things like this to get to me. But at the same time, I felt motivated and encouraged to do everything I can to overcome this challenge because I really wanted to have this baby at the time. And so you don't know what to do or where to go. And I'm not a part of the oversharing culture on social media, what I like to call the oversharing culture, where you go on social media and air out your grievance. But I did go to friends and talk to friends. I went to loved ones and talked to them and learned that I am not the only one who had those types of challenges when it came to stress and infertility. That's why it's important to take care of ourselves so we can take care of our babies, even the ones that are to come. Even the babies that are to come. That don't just include the babies that are walking around here getting on our nerves, you know what I mean? We have to take care of our bodies because everything that we're feeding into our bodies and giving our bodies is going to affect whatever is to come in our womb. And so that was the challenge that I was having. But I not only was upset about not being able to not being able to conceive, the struggle of conceiving or conception, but people could be so insensitive, and sometimes it's unknowingly, to where they will ask questions, most of the time out of love, about you having more children, not knowing that you're having complications conceiving. And those questions can affect a person who is trying to conceive in a negative way. It brings back the thought, like sometimes you're just trying to forget, you're just trying to go on with life and forget that you're having this issue and continue to try, and this person asking you, well, when are you going to have another baby, brings that back to the forefront of your mind. You know, another reason why mindfulness is a good practice to uptake as well, not just meditation. And we can get into that on another episode or later on this episode, whatever. But what I want to come from this episode is, Mama, I want you to know that if you're out there and you're experiencing challenges conceiving, stress could possibly be one of those reasons for you not conceiving. Just in case your doctor, if you are seeing a doctor or you did not decide to go see a doctor, just in case you are unaware, I'm letting you know that stress can be a major cause of infertility. Okay, so I want you to get that out of there. And then the second thing I want you to get out of this episode is this. If you are one of those who are an encourager or a supporter of a mama that may be listening, if you're listening in, I want you to be mindful of the question about when are you going to have other kids or more kids before you ask that question. Because you never know what that person is experiencing. Maybe they are trying to have other kids and or more kids, and they're unable to conceive.